hello, and welcome to another edition of Straight Grown Talk. Today, we have some very special young ladies in the house. Also, today, I have a very special co host, Miss Raquel Moss. Thank you for joining us today on Straight Grown Talk.
Thank you for having me. I can't wait. I can't wait.
Yes. Now, before we get the show started, we got to do a little house maintenance. So, let's talk about the pandemic that's going on currently today. I want to remind everybody to continue to wear their mask and to continue to wash your hands, and please continue to practice safe distances. It is not over. I know all of us are back to somewhat of a normal routine, but unfortunately, we have to continue to practice safeness because unfortunately, we can pass it on and our numbers are going high, so we want to make sure that we continue to practice safe distancing. Isn't that correct?
That's absolutely correct.
Yes. The second thing I want to talk about is starting this month, we're going to be doing some giveaways. So you got to pay attention to the show so that you can be a part of the giveaways. And it will start not this coming Sunday, but the following Sunday that Straight Grown Talk comes back on. We're going to start the giveaway, so pay attention. You got to watch the entire show, and then you will call the number, and please answer the questions, in which I'm going to tell you what you need to listen out for, and then we're going to give away the prize. So stay tuned. We're going to talk about that a little bit more in detail. But today, we're going to talk about author spotlight. So for a couple of months, I put out on Straight Grown Talk that I wanted to honor some of our authors, new authors that are coming out with books, or some authors that have been authors for a while that are coming out with some books. So periodically you will see that we're going to spotlight authors. So this is the beginning of many. And as well as I'm going to do it again because I've gotten so much response now since I have done that. But in the meantime, I want to continue with the Spotlight feature. So let me explain to you what that Spotlight feature consists of. One, you will be on the show. You will get an opportunity to talk about your book, your inspiration for writing the book as well. Two, you will also get an opportunity to do a little bit more one-on-one to get to know your audience. And as well as you get an opportunity to do what? Talk about your book, which is most important. So let's sit back and join. And our first guest that is coming up is Miss Janelle Harris. She is known for She Exists. She is a queen herself. She is from Florida. Known her for a couple of years now. She is a phenomenal woman. She believes in walking into higher territories. And she has a wonderful book. So I'm going to give the floor to her. And hello, Janelle.
Hey, how are you? Hello, happy Sundays to you and the ladies. How you doing?
Fine.
Hi.
How's it been going with you?
Busy. It's busy, and when it's busy, that means a lot of good stuff, a lot of good opportunities are coming. So thank you again for having me.
You're welcome. So before I jump into your book, I want you to briefly tell me about She Exists. What inspired you to start She Exists?
Empowerment. When you hear the word She Exists, we exist. Sometimes we don't know our true identity until we hit rock bottom, whatever that is, emotionally, physically, mentally. And then when we realize that there's something greater within, we start to make some moves and we start to ignite our purpose. So She Exists is for every woman out there that is existing, and I want to bring light and bring elevation so you know that you exist. You are She Exists.
That's right.
Absolutely.
That's right. We need to let our women know that she exists, and it's okay. Wherever we are, it's okay. So let's talk about the phenomenal book that you have that just came out, correct? You have a first edition that came out, and you have a second edition that's coming out, correct?
Right. So the first edition did very well. Women were inspired, and actually, women that was in the book, they are now doing collaborations. So that was amazing. So it just propelled me to do edition 2, which that will be coming out Labor Day, September 7th.
Okay, okay. So right now I want to show the book cover of which that is about to come out for the second edition, so that everyone can see. And that I want you to explain what was your inspiration for doing the She Exists, Walking into Territory 2.
I was tired. I was tired being in someone else's territory. And where you look at that, that's the breastplate of righteousness. You know, that's just the armor, faith, salvation, just everything to do with self, gift. And you know what? Just one day I was like, I am going to step in my territory, me against the world, and I'm taking it by force. And that is exactly what I'm doing. But not just myself. I'm leading by example and letting women know that they can step into their territory. Mostly, if you will, a lot of times we need validation, or sometimes we don't have enough faith to know that we can do this. But guess what? Creating your own success is the only way to success.
Yes, yes,
right.
yes, yes, yes.
That's right.
So what gave you that first aha moment to do this project?
Good question, Raquel. My son got into some trouble, and that wasn't expected. It wasn't on my radar, and it was a vulnerable situation. And I knew for me to carry on to the next day, it's going to have to be God. So what I did was just run to God and say, hey, whatever you want, whatever you need, just take it, just take it. And I surrender. I believe that was my reckoning. You know, oftentimes we're doing something and we're thinking that we're walking in the full capacity of what God is doing, and that's not true. So sometimes it takes a little stretch and an uncomfortable situation for us to get into who we fully are.
Okay. When you got ready to finish detailing all the books with everyone that's collaborating with you in the book, was it hard for you to let it go and say, okay, I'm ready for it to go to print?
No, actually, you know something, Raquel? With all these projects that I have going, it's like, hey, whatever. But I know I have a good publisher, a good editor, and during the book, so just so you know, I don't know about anybody else, but my collaborations are a little different. I'm spending time with the ladies, and we're all developing a relationship. I have training. I have so many different nuggets. So we're growing together. So in that moment, I'm hearing the wows, and this group, they're like saying, wow, could you believe this? So they're fully actually stepping in their territory as they come through the She Exists funnel. And so when I get the books back, I'm okay with it, because I already know this journey that I walk with them, they're stepping in their territory.
Okay. So if you had one opportunity, what inspiration do you want to leave with everyone, including me?
Key the noise out. Key the noise out. Follow, bet on you. I know sometimes it's hard to say, I don't have this, I don't have that. Bet on you. You are your best you. But the only way you are going to identify with you if you just do it. Just do it, and it's going to work itself out. Just do it.
Yes. So, how can our audience reach you in regards to She Exists and Miss Janelle Harris?
Yes, www.sheexists.org.
And your social media page?
It's just Janelle Harris. Janelle Harris. I have She Exists Network and She Exists Publication on Facebook. So you'll see all these wisdoms. You'll see Raquel So you definitely just key into us. And I'm telling you, if you know Raquel, you know me. Let's leave it like that. How about that?
Sweet, sweet.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I look forward to seeing you soon because I know that you're going to have an event coming up soon.
Yeah, which one? Well, because it's, COVID, we have something on hold because we were going to do a boat ride, a
Right.
leadership boat ride here in Florida. So that's put on hold just because I don't want to take that risk.
Okay.
But we will resume our conferences hopefully next year. There is a fashion show that's going to take place. I am editing for Sheen Magazine as well. So there's a lot of opportunities that is here. So all the events, and again, Raquel's always one of these speakers at the event. So plug into Raquel, you know everything what's going on, and she exists.
Yes, yes, I do. So I really thank you for being a part of Straight Grown Talks family. And I also appreciate you talking about stepping into your territory too. And I look forward in talking with you soon. And I can't wait for the actual book to come out. What, Labor Day weekend, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Okay. So we look forward into seeing you on Labor Day weekend talk about the book again, okay? We're gonna do something.
Absolutely. And your co-hosts are beautiful.
Thank
Bye,
you.
ladies.
So before Miss Janelle leave, I do want to show the cover of her book. So can we have that come up first?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a
Okay.
collaboration.
All righty. So many of you that are looking at the cover right now, you see that it's stepping into your territory too. So soon we will see her book come out on September the 7th. So look forward into seeing you then as well.
Okay. All right.
Hope you enjoy your event. Thank you for being a part of Straight Grown Talk again.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Next up, we have Miss Dana Hammond. And she was a guest on the show about 2 weeks ago. We talked about a different topic. She talked about the topic of human trafficking. And that topic is very dear. Many of you guys know that right now they announced today that Atlanta is very high in human trafficking. So as you guys know that Uber and Lyft are taking part of the fight against it. Congratulations to us in regards to that. Now today, she's here to talk about her book that is already out. And I definitely wanted you to talk about what encouraged you to do this book. So right now, I'm going to introduce you to Miss Hammond. How are you doing today?
Hi, I'm great.
So what is it like there today?
Sunny.
Okay. Is it hot? Because it's hot here.
Yes.
Okay. So tell us who you are and tell us a little bit about yourself, and then we'll go into the book.
My name is Dana Priyanka Hammond, and I am now currently an author. And I've been a survivor of human trafficking as a child of age 4. So and now I'm currently on a journey of searching for my birth family.
Okay. And with that journey, you explained to us 2 weeks ago about all the roughness that you went through in finding who you are today. Did that inspire you to write your book?
Yeah, I guess so, somewhat. I mean, it helped me to discover my identity even more as I went into my book, writing my book, and I was able to, while I started my journey, it did inspire me and allow me to get to know who I am even the more.
Okay. So what inspired you to name the book Abandoned But Not Forgotten?
Because of what I have gone through, because of the journey that it has led me to, and how it made me feel. And it was just the title in itself that became an impact, abandoned but not forgotten. And then that's when I had to realize that I am not forgotten, and I'm truly have a purpose in life. I truly have a destination that I'm heading towards.
Okay. When you was writing your book, what made you have an aha moment of you got to get it out?
When I first had a conversation with the Lord.
Good.
And that was back in 2008. And he inspired me. And because of what he has done for me, I knew I had to get this story out. I did not understand why my story was so vital to him, why it was so dear to him, but I just knew I had to do it for him alone.
Were there any discouraging moments that you had while trying to write this book, while you was on your journey to release your story?
Absolutely. I went through a healing journey while I was writing this book. I went through a journey where it felt like layers of onions being pulled out of me. And then I ended up losing the whole draft, the whole manuscript. Wow. And then I ended up sitting on it. There was a lot of discouraging moments, a lot of pain that I had to deal with, and it was a healing pain. And the process that I was going through, I could not skip it. He would not allow me to skip it. You know, I just could not. And it took since 2008 to finally release this book. And when it was time, it finally became time.
Okay. What were the high points of your journey of writing this book? What was the one thing that you want to take away and give to everyone, the world to see?
My breakthrough. Where I'm able to tell my story not from the woe is me, but I'm able to tell my story from a strength, from a strong perspective of really saying, this is my story, this is my life, and it may not be your truth, but it is my truth, the truth that I know it as.
Okay. I want you to go a little bit deeper. Can you give me a small snippet of the book that was most meaningful to you?
I don't think I have one single meaningful high area, because they're all meaningful. So each chapter has some form of impact to it, and and I have had readers tell me, no matter how much they read, they just couldn't let it down. So because of the journey that I went through, and then me having to rewrite this story without knowing for the fact that I'm not barfing all over people, that's how I knew. That's how I knew that this book was finally at the right place, right moment.
So I do want to take the moment and display the book cover so that everyone can see it. Meanwhile, I want you to explain how they can reach you and how can they order your book, and then tell about your social media page as well.
Sure. You can reach me at DanaPriyankaHammond.com, or I am searchable on Google. If you type in Dana Priyanka Hammond, you're able to find my social media on Facebook, Twitter, all under DanaPriyankaHammond.com. You can also find me on my human trafficking link, which is humantraffickinginc.com.
Okay. I want you to tell the audience one thing you would love to leave with them as a word of encouragement.
Wow. Word of encouragement. I'm going blank.
Not you.
Yeah. You can do it. it's not impossible. If you have a vision and a dream, you can do it.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as impossibility. If you invest in yourself, if you put the right energy in the right area, you're able to do it.
Any other
Just
questions?
one chunk at a time.
There you go. Any other questions that you guys want to ask?
I had a question. I wanted to go back to, I call it the paralysis. When you said that you were stuck when you writing your book, what was that one thing that kept you focused, on completing as you were healing? You having those moments of breakdown and I don't know if I can do this, but what kept you focused on completing that journey to finishing your book?
I think the nudge that I kept getting, the encouragement, and then I would, no matter how much I did not want to address it, or there would be somebody who would come in place and say, okay, are you ready to write again? So it was like it was ordained, and it was ordered. When it was finally time to stop sitting, it was like God saying, okay, you had plenty of time to sit on your little behind and and just take a break, but I'm not going to allow you to sit there and do nothing, because I've called you for this. And there was one word he gave me: if you are willing and obedient, you shall eat the good of the land. And I knew exactly what he kept telling me, especially before I first started writing this story, and I started my journey on it. It was, I'm going to bless you financially. I'm going to bless you emotionally and mentally and spiritually. It's that kind of healing. It's so whatever is gonna come out of it, I know it's also gonna come out of it where I'm gonna find my birth family because of it. I'm currently right now got the exposure in the news media network, so that's what I've been doing right now. I actually, speaking of which, I have Fox 7 News coming up this week that I will be on. So I've been getting some exposure here.
Good.
I'm glad. So congratulations on your new release book. I look forward into doing other projects with you coming up soon. And I can't wait to see you again. I do appreciate you joining the Straight Grown Talk family. And we look forward to seeing you soon.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care.
And tell the little one I said hi.
I will.
So coming up next, we have Miss Robin Chalky. And I wanted to talk with you, young lady.
Yes, ma'am.
And first of all, thank you for coming to Straight Grown Talk.
I'm excited to be here. I am so excited.
you.
I always love to come to Status Network anyway.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. So we've known each other for a short period of time. We met each other a couple of months ago. Mm-hmm. And it was a phenomenal experience.
Yes.
I do appreciate the story behind how we met and the blessing gift that you gave. I also want to talk about you in general, as well as your book that you just released and the movie that's coming out too, that our audience doesn't know about yet.
There's a couple.
Oh, okay. So tell our audience who you are.
Okay. Well, my name is Robin Shockley, and I am the founder and CEO of the Focus Forward with Robin brand, where I am a columnist writer for a couple of magazines. I'm a talk show host on social media, as well as an actress, like she mentioned, an author, a motivational speaker, and a jack of all trades, I guess.
Yes. And we're going to start calling you the Fly Jock, too, because you're all over the place, too.
Yes, I've been in 5 cities in less than a week.
Oh,
yes.
wow.
That's crazy, isn't it?
Determination.
Yes, very determined.
Okay,
Yes.
so let's talk about what you do day to day.
Day to day. Well, what do I not do? I'm just kidding. I work part-time for a law firm, and where I share a position with my mother, which makes it very, very flexible to be able to travel and to go places. And also, you know, I'm single, so I'm on my own. So you got to do what you got to do, right?
Yes.
And so I am a hustler in the making just over the last couple of years, but I'm a go-getter. So
And that you are.
I've been labeled as a professional maximizer, which I'll talk about that soon. But what I do is I find ways how to help people share their own personal stories.
Okay.
So that's why I'm on the go so much. That's why I'm traveling and going different places, is because people will hire me to come to their city or their town to talk about their why story, why they do what they do. So, yeah.
Okay. So what inspired you to write your book?
What inspired me to write my book?
And hold up, before you
Okay.
explain that, tell me, what is the name of the book?
Okay, the name of the book is called Catching the Vision to Focus Forward with a New, Bold, and Brave Life.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and it's a 31-day devotional for men and women.
Okay.
So it's a faith-based devotional, which is very impactful. I have people that have bought the book all over the country, and what inspired me to write the book, I have my own talk show, which is called Focus Forward Robin with Regina Sunshine Global Network right here in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm from Greenville, South Carolina, so I travel all the way down here to Atlanta, you know, to do my show. And so
So I'm going to stop you for a second. When you moving here? 'Cause that's a lot of
everybody
time.
tells me that. Everybody tells me I've got to move here. Listen, if I can find me a job that lands me here, you know, that could, you know, pay the bill, you know, on a regular, because everything that I'm doing, it helps meet the bills,
Right,
but
right.
it's bonus parts too, you
Gotcha.
know, so it kind of feeds off other things that I'm doing, you
Gotcha.
know, so, but yeah, everybody tells me I gotta get here, and I love it, and I already know the town, I already know the area, everything, if I move to Atlanta, because my story goes all the way back to many years ago
Oh, wow.
about Atlanta, so, and I wrote a blog about it because I'm a blogger too.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
So, but anyway, so what positioned me to write this book was, you know, having my talk show where people come on and they're sharing their pit to purpose stories and why they're doing what they're doing. And so I started reflecting on my own self, you know, why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I knew coming out of a long-term marriage, which was a toxic marriage that I was in for many, many years, and I had to start my whole life over. I had to walk in a new, brave atmosphere, a new, bold reality that I did not want, but I had, you know, it was given to me. It's like my publisher says, Arthur Brady Hunt, you know, we have to deal with the hand that we've been dealt.
That's right.
And
That's
she
right.
wrote a book on that, and that right there stuck with me with that quote, because you know, I had to just face the facts that,
Right.
you know, I'm single, I'm on my own. I practically had lost a lot of relationships, family relationships, church relationships, everything. I mean, I kind of like when Esther in the Bible talks about how she had to make that change.
That's
and
right.
for her people, I knew I couldn't think about what was going on in the now. I had to think of future generations.
Yes.
And so I had to think about my grandchildren down the road, and then my great-grandchildren, and the legacy, and, you know, and the people that I come in contact and make an impact. And so, you know, I procrastinated. I've been writing, Raquel, for over 10 years, and I thought my first book was going to be my biography. I really thought that, and I started writing it, and never could complete it, got sidetracked, you know. God just started doing other things in my life and stuff, and I just put it to the back burner. Didn't have the confidence. I was a very insecure woman, and I talk about it in the book. But basically, what happened was I stepped forward and I took a class. My publisher, Brandy Hunt, offered a class, and it was a certain amount of money, and I made the investment. So if you're interested in writing a book, you have to make an investment.
You have to do that
Absolutely.
regardless.
Yes,
Even
right.
in your own business.
Yes.
If you want to be successful, you got to invest in your business and you got to invest in yourself,
Exactly.
because knowledge is powerful. So you have to invest in yourself and keep it moving. You have to
Exactly.
Yep.
keep up to date with knowledge.
And-
Don't you?
yeah,
Don't you
forward.
ladies agree?
Exactly.
forward.
And one of my platforms when I do my speaking is get yourself in the room, and the room will work for you. Well, I
Yes,
chose to
like
get
that.
myself in the room in this class, right? This virtual class online. And so we were supposed to write the book in 30 days.
Oh, wow.
Well, that didn't happen. Okay. For me, it might have for some others, but it did for me. But I got educated, and I started learning, and I started praying and asking God, surround me with people that's going to help me. You've given me this passion to write this book. Well, last fall, I had somebody donate me a laptop.
Oh, wow.
Somebody sponsored me my internet service.
Okay.
So I could write my book.
So no excuses.
No
That's
excuses.
right.
No excuses. But the thing is, all this stuff where people have sown into my life, and that's another book that's coming called Sow Where You Want to Grow. I'm working on that one now. But all that came because I've sowed where I wanted to grow. I got myself in rooms, and I invested my time. I invested my resources into other people and giving back, and it's all coming back to me.
Right.
So I took this class, Raquel. When I took this class, it got me educated. It got me knowledge, And so in the process, there was somebody else had wrote a book. And this is very key importance right here. There's somebody else that had wrote a book. I read the book, and I sewed 2 of her books into somebody else. I bought them and sewed them into somebody else. And when I did that, within a week, somebody else asked me to collaborate a book, which was Chuck Brown. We collaborated a book called In the Morning with 11 other authors from media, actors, pastors all around the country. And that was my first initial book that I wrote.
Okay.
I didn't have to do any of the legwork as far as like the cover, anything. All I had to do was just write my story, which was the chapter is Power of Positive Thinking.
Okay.
That pushed me to get my own devotional finished. Just getting myself in the room and getting connected. But do you see how God worked? He opened up the door. I sewed into 2 women who could relate to the stories in this book because it ministered to me so much. I cried the whole time reading it. And it was Miss Sadie Evans' book and about graceful tears. And so I sewed that. When I did that, the door opened for me to write a collaboration book with Chuck Brown. It popped up. He offered that. I didn't have to do any of the legwork. I just had to sell the books. That's all I had to do was sell the books.
That's good.
And I profited off the sale of the books. So that pushed me to get Catching the Vision, Focus Forward done. I was like, you know what? I am an author now.
That's right.
I can write my own book. I don't have to just collaborate with other people.
Now
But
you
that
see
was a
where this
push.
confidence is coming in now? You
Yes.
hear all throughout now. I've let her talk nonstop. And this confidence is definitely here now.
Yes,
Now, see,
it
she
is.
said
I
at
love
first she
it.
didn't have the confidence, but you
I
see how
didn't.
powerful she is because
I
she
love
took
it.
the moment to invest in herself.
Yes.
Actually, she's asked a couple
she
of questions I've
believes in
already
herself.
was going to ask, so I thank you for that. Again, her book is currently showing up right now. Please visit on Amazon. You can get her book as well. But again, you have an amazing and phenomenal story of how you actually took the time to invest in yourself and how you overcame your fears of not being confident and stuff like that. So I do appreciate you coming on today and telling your story because it is a blessing. One of the things I want to know, when you were writing this book,
Yes.
what was the aha moment for you?
The aha moment for me was, wow, it's coming out. It's coming. The stories are coming out because my devotional book is a Bible verse and then it's a short message of stories of my life over just the last couple of years of my transition, right?
Okay.
And then I give a challenge. So the challenges are personal to me because it's things that I've done. Well, I challenge the reader to invest their time to do the challenges.
Good.
And then I have a prayer at the end. So my aha moment was that it's coming out. Everything's coming to light. Everything's coming out public. And people are finding out the real Robin and how she made it and how she's making it.
So at the end, when you finished writing your book, did you have problems letting it go, or were you study saying, I want to add this in, I want to add this in it?
That's me. Always having that. Like, wait a minute. Yeah.
Well, actually, I want to tell you, I am a different breed, and I work differently than a lot of people. I mean, I literally tune in to the Holy Spirit speaking to me on certain things, and with this particular project, this book, I say that I didn't write this book. God wrote this book.
Wow.
Because I literally I had started writing days, like day 1, day 2, all that. I started writing it, and I was having trouble, like thinking, pulling it together. But then I was like, okay, God, I'm gonna surrender this thing to you. I'm giving it all to you, and you write the book. And I even anointed my laptop, and everything, and prayed over my hands and all that. And He just gave it to me. So really, I didn't, because when it got finished, I had one chapter, which was the very last chapter of the page, which was the 31 devotional. That one there was the one I was stuck on for a bit, but then God just released it, and it flowed. So yeah.
Okay. Any questions you want to ask?
Wow, she
That's what I said. She went on. She answered all the questions.
I'm
so sorry.
But one thing that stuck out to me was when you said God wrote the book. And I can truly say that is the exact thing that happened in my life. God wrote the book.
Yes.
And that's so true. That's so true.
And we have to, walk by faith and not by sight. So I literally, with this book, this is my first baby, and it means so much. And what's so precious to me about it, because on the cover is my son. It's my son, and it's special to me because I, with the transition and my family, I went through some, and everybody is public. Everybody knows we went through some hard times.
Right.
But for my son to accept the fact that he's letting me put his picture on my book that's going worldwide now, that means the world to me, So it's very special that he is on the cover of the book, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you've answered the aha moment. You've answered what trials and tribulations you went through to write it.
Yes.
You've answered what was your purpose of writing the book. You've answered a lot of the other questions that I had for you. So thank you, because you made my job.
That's a great interview. That's a great interview.
Yes, and you actually expose yourself openly,
right?
To let everybody into your own world. A lot of people don't, and I have to kind of pull and drag. But you was willingly. So thank you for that. I want to also go into, you are currently have a movie or 2 movies that are coming out. You said. So tell us a little bit about that and what inspired you to become an actor.
Okay, well, you talked about what's my day-to-day job. I go and I do interviews out of town, for people, but I also host red carpet events. So with hosting the red carpet events, people have me come and, showcase the actors and actresses. And I made a joke, and the thing is, I have to be really careful, because a lot of times when I make a joke, you think I've got potential doing this? Honey, that's what I end up doing. So let me tell you, I would make jokes with all my friends about it when I would interview them on the red carpet, and they're like, yeah, you got it. Well, somehow or another, so far, every position that I have been in, as far as the filming and what I'm doing, I haven't auditioned yet. And I know I'm going to be auditioning, but that's the favor of God. It just comes to me.
Right.
And so I'm with Southern Tea. It's a romantic comedy where a girl falls in love, and it's a short film with CIA Media, Tony Wright. And I'm excited. And it's my story. It's a woman who is scorned from domestic violence, and she just don't want to try love again. So she goes to a speed dating event, and she ends up meeting this guy, and she falls in love, and yada yada. So the other movie is a big movie that's coming out, which is Justice Through Redemption. That I just landed that. He actually added in my script, because he started following my videos, and he come up with this creative character. And my friend Jeff Smith told him, he said, I got the perfect person. He's an actor. And so this is Walt Diddy, who does this with T-Wood Films. And I'm just really excited, because that's why I was in Shelby and Charlotte and all that, because we were filming, last week. But yeah, I'm really excited how I become an actress. I didn't ever think I would. I always said Robin does, and this is the thing. I always said Robin will never be an actress, because actress, you have to pretend, and I am done pretending. I pretended for 29 years. I am not pretending. I'm not wearing a mask anymore. But then I had some people like Timothy Tobias, Armand, and Chuck Wright, and a whole bunch of other people, Kimberly Newsom, a whole bunch of people told me, they said, Robin, it's not about you pretending. It's about you bringing that character to life.
Yes.
And when I grasp that, it's like, yes, I can do this. I really can do this. And so I'm excited about it.
Well, we'll soon see you in theaters coming
Yes,
soon. As
we
soon as
should.
they come back with theaters, because right now we're on hold with
Yes.
the movie theaters, but we know it will probably land on the big screen television. So we
Yes.
look forward to seeing you then. Tell us how they can contact you.
Okay, I'm all over social media. Everybody knows that. I'm on Instagram under Robin Shockley, Facebook Robin Shockley, and also have a Facebook page. It's called Focus Forward with Robin. That's where I do motivational quotes. That's where I put my articles. That's where I put my shows, my blogs. Everything goes on there, and my red carpet events, things I do, the interviews. And you can reach me on YouTube. I got to work on getting that updated more. But yeah, so you just Google, like the other lady said, Google
Yeah,
Robin
Google.
Shockley, you'll find me. Oh, and I'm also on the IMBD. I just set that up yesterday. So.
Oh, wow.
Right. She's
Okay, so
everywhere.
we look forward to seeing you again with the Straight Grown Talk family.
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
quite sure we're gonna be doing some other projects. So up next we have my co-host. Yay! Now my co-host I've known for 30 years.
Yes, it is our 30th
I can't believe it.
reunion.
Now, we're not going to tell people how long far back that was, but we're going to say 30 years ago,
Yes.
we met each other, and it has been a phenomenal relationship all throughout. I want to welcome everybody again, Miss Raquel Moss.
Hi, guys.
Please put your hand together for her as my co-host and tell me about you.
Who I am an educator. I'm an educator. And I'm a new entrepreneur. I love to say that because being the newbie, that means you get a lot of, I guess, advice, strong advice about, getting started and the do's and the don'ts. So I'm definitely excited about that. So I started my own business. And it's just been such an amazing journey. Seeing how, the things that God give you just appear. It seems like, you pray about it. He gives you these incredible visions and to work it and just keep working it. And for it to, I always say float because Swan is my last name. And so this beautiful bird, which I call myself, is just excited about her new adventure. Yes, I'm still an educator. I'm gonna always be an educator. Okay, that is not going anywhere because of my love for my students and the love I have for teachers.
We need it. We need
Yes.
as many help as we can get for this generation of kids. Lord knows we do.
But they are excited. I know that what you see in the news and what you hear in the streets, these kids are just curious and
Yes.
they want someone to answer the
Exactly.
questions.
Yes.
Just like we did when we were in school.
Yes.
We were curious and we were like, I don't know if is that really the truth? So I think right now I always say that the social studies teachers, this is your moment to shine. Okay? It is your moment to shine. But back to myself being an author, the book came from I don't like to say tragic incident. I had a stroke. I'm a workaholic. I'm just like you. Or like many women.
Yes.
We toil. We do what we have to do. I was too divorced and with 2 kids and just on this journey trying to work it. And one day I had a stroke.
Wow.
And it was a debilitating stroke. I could not walk and could not talk. And I was very nervous. But however, that night in the hospital room, God spoke. Just like he spoke to all of, speaks to all of us.
Yes.
Sometimes we just, I would say I just was so busy, I couldn't hear.
Yes.
I just couldn't hear him. And so he sat me down. I say he really laid me down.
Yes, he sure did. And he had your undivided attention.
He had it. I mean, he had it because I couldn't say anything back. I was trying to figure out where I was. Stroke has a very sensitive thing when it comes to your mind. And you feel like you're losing your mind. but you were like, this cannot be the end of my story. This cannot be the end of my journey. I worked so hard for these kids. I worked so hard for myself. I just don't understand, God. Why is this happening?
So I'm going to stop you one quick second. When you had your stroke and as you were recovering, I need to ask, did you learn in that moment that you need to take time for yourself?
Yes. Yeah, because that's all I had to do. You know, as I learned to speak again, you know, I had to go back through the educational path as a 40-year-old. And so they'll tell you, you know, you get back into it because you're trying to, you know, get your brain cells back functioning. And so I knew my heart also took a hit, getting it back. And I'm going to tell you, it was mentally exhausting. It really was. There are many days when I just didn't know. I couldn't understand. And I was like, okay, I need something to help channel my thought pattern and give me that self-esteem to push.
Okay.
Now I really need it. I need you, God, to, you know, I worked so hard in the school. Now I need for you to work on me.
Yes.
And so the journey for self-care became, you know, just the passion that I had for myself, but I knew I had to give it to the kids because that's the thing that they lack. A lot of self insecurities, a lot of self awareness needs to take place. And so they just don't understand. I think God set me down because he wanted me to start the new journey with making sure that the kids were well.
That's a wonderful
That
synopsis
the
on
kids
that.
are going to be
So
well.
I'm going to say this to you. I've experienced what you went through. My mother, as you know, when we were on a trip, had a stroke, and we were all together. And I went through that moment, and I remember many nights that she would cry because, like you, we had to teach her how to eat, how to walk, how to talk, just the basic stuff. And then a lot of the anger came and stuff like that. So my question to you is this: what made you say, I gotta tell my story? What made you say, I want somebody else to know in this world they're not alone?
Oh, that's a good question. And I can truly tell you, it was a student, Audra Davison. She came back into my life. She was in high school. I teach middle school. I'm in a middle school setting. And she called me. And she said, Miss Moss, I heard about what happened through my mom.
Oh, wow.
And I want to tell your story. She's an author. And actually, I was her second book, and she just finished her third book. She's at Spelman. And I was so taken aback, you know, and I said, well, okay, I'm back at the school, you know, trying to get myself together, but you can come. It was over the summer, and she sat in my office, and I just began to, because I don't have feeling still on my right side. So I really still struggle with my right hand.
Okay.
So sometimes it don't want to go right. So I was grateful. But I thought about a book, but I was like, I'm not going to be able to complete a book with my hand this way. It would take me just too long. So I think she's the angel that God sent. And said, no, you're going to write the book because I'm sending someone to help support
That's
you.
what I'm talking about. So he took away your excuses.
That's right.
Yeah. And he made sure that you told your story for the world to hear.
That's right.
Now, when you were on the journey to write your book, and I know it probably took you a while, what were some of the discouraging moments that you had, but you had to fight to keep pushing to get through those moments, to get to, I got to get beyond this? Because I know when you're writing something that is so passionate as this was, which was about you, it's difficult. And I know you probably shared many tears.
Oh, yeah. When we sat, and this is the truth, my principal was like, at the time, he was like, I can't believe this. But it only took her 1 week to write this
Wow.
story. Because in that one day, I mean, I could recall. I mean, it seemed like where I had struggled to remember things, that day, she sat there and I mean, it flowed just beautifully. You know, it just flowed. And it was about 3 hours. No break, no nothing.
Oh, wow.
And
That's a lot.
And so I was like, when I finished, you know, telling her the story, she was like, Miss Moss, I'm going home now and I'm going to write this. It was 3 days later.
Wow.
And she said, it is complete and it's time to edit. And I'm like,
What?
what's complete? You know, babe, I'm thinking of you, you know, you got, and she was like, no, ma'am, you know, but she was already an author. She knew how to write. And I'm like, I was the one that was like, oh no, just, I'm like, this baby don't know what she's talking about, you know? You know, but that's, I think, the most unique thing to have your former student write your journey.
It is.
That
It
is
is. It is.
powerful.
It
I
is.
mean, I just, every time when I look at it, it just, I well up because somebody else took the time. A teenager.
That's
I'm talking
big.
about, she
Not
was
only did she take
11th
the
grade.
time, she believed in you enough
Yes.
to reach back and say, I want to do something
Yes.
special
Yes.
just for you.
Yeah, so I tell people all the time, no, I honor her, you know, because I'll probably be still trying to get this book out. You know what I'm saying? So kudos to you, God, and kudos for the angel that you sent me. Absolutely.
Now, I'm going to jump ahead and then I'm going to come back.
Okay.
From the book, you created Rock 10.
Uh-huh.
Please tell our audience what Rock 10 is about.
Well, Rock 10, because I'm an educator, and I had to lose the weight. I was, you know, heavy. I was 210 pounds. And it's a funny, you know, situation that happened in the book when I was laying in the bed under recovery. And, you know, they had the weight that pops up from the bed. And I was like, who is that 210? Wait a minute. You know, I'm looking. I'm like, well, somebody laying on me, God. I know I ain't 210. No, but I didn't even know that I had gained that much. So 10 came from me losing 10 pounds at a time.
Okay.
That was the target. Till I got it down to 163.
Oh, wow.
For me, that was major. I was in a size 4 because I'm a big boned girl. And so the doctor, everybody was like, okay, you really got it going. You know, it took me about a year to get it off. And
So
but I
you
was
did
just
10 at a time.
10 increments.
Okay.
In 10 increments. And so I reached out to my friends on Facebook, and I was like, look, guys, because I was kind of mad with my doctor when I went back, because he was like, when you got 10 more. I was like, no, I'm not doing no more. So I was like disappointed, but I had good news. But I was still kind of disappointed that he wasn't pleased with it. You know, wait a minute now.
You came a long way. I need to get some pound in the back or something.
I'm gonna melt away if I
Yes.
do 10 more. So I reached out to social media and I said, look, guys, I gotta lose 10 more pounds, and I'm really gonna need your help, because mentally I'm like, I'm done. I look good. I feel great. You know, things are going well, and I said, look. I need you guys to help me get myself back to eating right, you know, consistently. I mean, and working out. I mean, I started doing boxing, Pilates, yoga, just walking, running, anything to get it off. I was so driven. You know, I just didn't think I could get back into that mental space of doing 10 more, you know. So luckily, my friends got with me, and everybody started rocking 10.
Good.
You know, and I said, wow. And so my nickname is Rock.
Yes. And she's had it for many, many years.
And so those 10 pounds just, you know, was the target. And so it became Rock 10.
All right, so you also have another program, and it's up under the Swan umbrella.
Yes.
That you help graduating seniors. Explain to me a little bit about that, and then I also want to talk about you hosting your own radio as well.
Okay, so Audra, my sweetheart, I became focused in on giving my students a platform. So I started like, okay, what is this gonna look like, God? So I said, come from your personal journey of being what I thought was the ugly duckling, not having that, that self-love for myself. So I said, okay, that's where I'm going to take this. And so giving kids a platform for them to feel good about themselves, of their hard work that they do in school, became my whole thing about Swan. Putting them out there, stepping back and seeing their brilliance was important to me. I had the pleasure of meeting some remarkable students at Austin Road and Henry County School System. And I wanted to, showcase them. That's important. So I said, okay, middle school is my love. And so I said, okay, I do self-care for teens. So that is me, my middle school and my high school students that just don't have that self-esteem yet and don't have the skill set. And
that's during a time period in middle school. That's when they start questioning, the color of their skin. How do you like me? Am I pleasing
That's
you?
Right.
My friends. So again, that is a pinnacle point in most middle schools' lives.
Yep,
so,
especially at 7th grade.
Yes.
That 7th grade is a beast, and most parents, ready to give it up.
Yes.
Throw in the towel at 7th grade.
Yes.
So I always tell parents, hang in there. They're trying to figure out who they are. They're trying to figure out where that switch. Okay, I'm not elementary anymore, and I know I'm heading towards high school. But how can I maintain who I am? Without drowning in all of this. And so kids just make poor decisions when they don't know who they are, and nobody's affirming that for them.
Okay, so as you develop that, so now we've got 3 things going on for you. One more, you have your talk show. Tell me a little bit about that. Tell us a little bit about it.
So it's first and third Sundays. I shoot out of Athens with MIU Radio, and it's pretty much the same platform. But I also add educators who may not get the shine or may not, get the recognition that they deserve. I've had from principals all the way to parapros to students who are doing great things and come back. So I just love, giving people an opportunity, especially the youth. So mine, yes, all the adults, and we love this, but my whole focus is to give the kids the same thing.
So how can everyone find you and on social media and your platform? And then we're going to wrap it up with our Straight Grown Talk family. All right. Bring us on in.
So I have a website, and it is swanrock10.com. Go ahead and sign up, subscribe, because you may just be chosen for some free workshops. Today we were doing Stepping on the Yard, which featured my students that went to PWIs. So I'm very excited to see how did that go today, because I had to put my baby in somebody else's hands. So shout out to you, Martin Richards, who took that task for me today. And Facebook, you can go Rock 10. That will give you some motivation, some food choices. We have going on Mondays. We have Meatless Mondays for educators, talking and focusing on heart health. So you have that. You'll see me doing some wonderful yoga. So try it out. And then on Instagram, Swan Rock 10.
All right, there you have it. We have 4 phenomenal ladies, and let me also share light on this. to piggyback on what Miss Moss said, I also wrote a book called Straight Grown Talk and I'm Grown Now What. So it's to help the youth once you come out of high school. But that also you can contact Straight Grown Talk and I can tell you more information about it. Today we have 4 phenomenal women on the show that share their author spotlight book. Look forward to seeing you guys again. If you guys want to become a Spotlight feature author, please contact Straight Grown Talk. I want to thank everyone for joining us today. Look forward to seeing you soon. Love you guys. Bye.
Bye.